You belong on every ground your feet grace, so don't ever feel out of place. Take up space and belong. This earth is your birthplace. Okay, so now I'm gonna get my thoughts on the reunion. I don't have notes, but I'm gonna try to remember what I wanted to say. It's not going to be long because the reunion could have been an email. There was really not a whole lot that was talked about, but there are a few things I want to touch on. Nick gossiping behind Hannah's back, talking about not liking the way that she looked. It kind of made it kind of annoyed me, and the fact that he just kept lying when they were telling him, and it took Ramses saying, "You caught," like basically, "You're caught. Just take accountability and apologize," for him to tell the truth. So he was literally going to lie if Ramses never said anything, if he never stepped up or whatever, and he's trying to make himself look like a good guy. And what I was saying was, now it makes sense why he was hanging in there with Hannah while she was being mean to him. And Hannah said that she was like, "I was literally being mean to you. I was tearing you down, and every time we had a conversation, when you got in front of people, you were singing my praises." And she said she was confused about that, and I understand, because it's kind of like a test. I don't feel like she was testing him. I feel like that's how she is. But I think that we all test people, men, women, whoever. We all test each other to kind of see, just kind of try to feel each other out, see how we're going to react to certain things. And like, you, I was being mean to you, but you never said anything bad about me when we were on camera to people. That would have made me confused too. I would have been confused too. Like, why is he accepting this? Why, you know, does he never stand up for himself? Because he wasn't standing up for himself. He would just let her like bash him, beat him up, and just take it. And come to find out, it was because he wanted to be famous. He wanted to come on this show to get fame. That would have helped with his realtor career and all of those things. Hey, I'm buying a house from Nikki D off of Love is Blind. But Nick, there was nothing compelling about him to me. Okay, so finding out that Nick was saying things behind Hannah's back, like he didn't like how she looked and calling her a grenade and stuff like that, was really messed up. He made us feel like he thought that Hannah was beautiful, and she's a beautiful, and Hannah is beautiful. I don't even understand why people were calling her big back. I just feel like she was just tall, and she presented heavier because she was really tall or whatever. So I never saw that when she was overweight. Even in the beginning when I was doing my reviews, I said that I thought she was beautiful. She just was mean, really mean, but you could tell that she was insecure as well, and weight was always an issue with her. But to know that he was saying things like that behind her back, but trying to make it seem like he thought she was perfect, kind of comes off narcissistic. And I hate using that word because I feel like it's overused. So now I'm rethinking things. This is not me saying that I don't feel like Hannah was wrong for the way she was coming at him. She was dead wrong. But at the same time, he was playing his own manipulation game. He was manipulating her, making it seem like he was really into her and he loved her and saying his feelings was real. But you telling your friends and stuff that she's not attractive. Now the thing with the lady has it is deeper now, because were you trying to make her jealous on purpose when that happened? Now and I know a lot of times we do go back and our wheels are spinning, and sometimes it's not what we think, but I'm just saying how it made me feel hearing that. Like, he was not being genuine. Like, he wasn't he did he actually like her? Like, he made it seem like he really wanted the relationship and she was giving up on him and she was giving him such a hard time and he was really trying. Do I feel like he was hurt by the way that she was talking to him? Absolutely. I wish he would have stopped telling her that it was fine and he respected her for being so blunt and just saying like, I know a lot of the things that you're saying about me is true, but it really hurts my feelings the way that you say it. You make me feel less of a man, less of a person when you say things the way that you say them to me. Like, you can easily tell somebody the things that they need to work on without tearing them down. Telling him that you turn him from a boy to a man and stuff like that was out of line. And no, you didn't, because he kept using his incompetence as a weapon and you kept falling for it. So really, it kind of seems like if y'all was playing a game and y'all were both manipulating each other and treating each other harsh, that low key he had one up on you. He had one up on you. I just feel like they just were not compatible and they should have broken up way before they did. But of course, this is a show. You have to drag the drama out. Nick wanted to be famous, so he stayed. Um the other thing that I want to talk about is Tim and Alex. The way that Tim behaved in this reunion and the way that he behaved when he broke up with Alex completely changed my view of him. Tim comes across as this like strong, dominant, but gentle, charismatic, empathetic, compassionate guy who wears his heart on his sleeve. And but when you think about it, Alex and Tim bonded over trauma. They were trauma bonding. Trauma bonding never ends well because that means that you're still traumatized from the things that happened to you. And you're carrying that trauma with you into this relationship. And not only are you carrying it, you're making it a burden for the person that you're in a relationship with. And I know y'all are gonna be like, well, if you're in a relationship, then it shouldn't be a burden. Yes, it is, because y'all be thinking that you're supposed to get into relationships to save people and they're supposed to save you, whether that's financially, mentally, physically, emotionally, and you're dead wrong. You need to have all of those things together yourself before you get into a relationship, especially a committed relationship where you're getting married. So, trauma bonding is not necessary for you to get to know somebody. It's different if you're talking about experiences that shaped who you are as a person, but to keep going back to your trauma and asking somebody to carry that load with you is a lot. And I feel like Tim did that the whole time. He prioritized his family, his life, his trauma over his relationship with Alex, and whatever she was going through, it seemed to me like he cared nothing about what she was going through when she was explaining why she took a nap and when she was explaining a lot of the reasons why certain things happened and why she behaved a certain way. He did not care. He didn't care. It wasn't about him. It wasn't about his family. It wasn't about his dog. Because I feel like he would prioritize that dog over her. Tim is my way or the highway. When I want my space, you better give me my space, but you better not ask me for space. If you want your space, I'm going to feel like it's because of me and I'm going to make it about me and I'm going to get mad at you for not talking. Tim reminds me of one of my exes who used to create problems out of thin air. Like they would just come out of thin air. Like me and him would have had just been laughing and having fun and stuff. And if I got quiet for a little while and didn't say anything, he would literally think that I was mad at him and he would throw a temper tantrum. You sitting beside me, you not talking to me. I ain't did nothing to you. You ignore me or whatever. And I'm just like, huh? Like, where did this come from? Nobody ignored you, nor how I'm feel. Neither nobody ignored you, and how I'm feeling has nothing to do with you. A lot of the times, like me and he'll be laughing and play fighting, and I would just not really play fighting because I don't do that, but we would just be laughing and like, uh, back and forth with each other, and I would need a moment to just rest, get my heart rate back to this resting state. My heart beats really fast at its resting state anyway. So when I do any physical activity, it beats really hard. So sometimes I have to sit and let it calm itself down. He knew that I was sick. He did not care. Anytime that my illness got into the way of anything, whether that be me, like my mood shifting from laughing with him to me getting quiet because I needed a break, he did not care. All he cared about was, you're not talking to me when I want you to talk to me. And the crazy thing is, he would never even be trying to have a conversation with me. Like, we both would just be sitting there watching TV, and I'm thinking we just chilling watching TV. But nah, this nigga create problems out of thin air. And I feel like Tim does the same thing. I don't know what that's about, but I hated it so much. And I was so disappointed in how he tried to play the, you women say you want a good man, and then when you get one that want to love you and show you love, you don't know how to act. You was not showing her love in that moment. Like Alex said, when he was getting mad at her for taking that nap while his parents were there, a nap, y'all, a nap, while his parents were in town, not while they were in the house. She didn't fall asleep while they were talking, nothing like that. They were literally gone, and she went upstairs to take a nap because she was tired, because she had to go to work. She had already worked earlier, and she had to go back to work. And you're mad at her because she knows how important my family is, and I would never disrespect her family like that. Look at all the things I did for her family. I did that letter for her dad. I cooked dinner and she didn't wash the dishes. What? So what you're saying is you only did that to win brownie points. You didn't do it because you were moved to do it or because you wanted to do it and you were serious. You did it to win brownie points. And because she didn't acknowledge you and pat you on the head to say, good job, Timothy. You did such a good job. My good boy, my sweet little boy. You were mad. You broke up with her for taking a nap. A nap. And then you're trying to justify it by saying she was disrespectful toward you. You could tell that Alex was checked out in some moments, but because she explained that her dad was sick and she couldn't be with her family and she was thinking about that, I understand that. You could tell moments when she was out of it, but you could also tell moments when he had given up too. But Tim is one of those people who act like they're so loving and they're so kind, and they just don't know why people won't accept them, and nobody wants a good man like me or whatever. And they're actually not a good man. It's just that they don't have any self-awareness. They've never done anything wrong. They shift the blame onto everybody else. They're always the victim. They're always victimizing the situation. Every little thing you do that went against what they wanted you to do, they will hold you for it. He broke up with that girl for taking a nap. He has issues. And it was so disappointing because I wanted to be right about him so bad because he came across as really genuine. And to think, it kind of feels like he was putting on the show. Like that's not even a real him. And they tried to have the conversation, and he still couldn't take accountability for the way he treated her. She literally said, in that moment, you spoke to me with hate. You acted like I killed your dog. He did not apologize for making her feel like that. And I felt that hate too. And it did take me back to to the moments that I would have with one of my exes when he would do that. So I understood how she felt. It's like nothing that you do is good enough for them. They always have an issue. There's always a problem. They're always finding something to be mad about. And they will pull things out of thin air to hold you accountable because they're in pain, they're hurt, they don't know how to name it. So it's your fault. Because they don't understand themselves. They don't know what's really going on. Because I've had a conversation with my ex, years later after we grew up. And I'm not I thought that he had improved from how he was, but he didn't. He really didn't. Exes never do. That's why I don't double bag. That's why I don't spin the block. I keep it moving. But I had a conversation with him before and I asked him, like, why were you so angry back then? I told him that you never even gave me the chance to love you, and I wanted to love you and I wanted to understand you, and I wanted to even relieve him of some of the pain that he was clearly feeling. And I'm like, why were you so angry? And he told me he didn't know. He didn't really know why he was angry. I was trying to ask questions like different things. Was it something about your parents, your siblings? Was it something about, yourself? He told me he just didn't know. He couldn't put a name on it. And I wonder if that's a illness or something. Is that like a behavior disorder? Because he's still like that. He's still very much like that. He likes to say that he changed, but he did not. And that's something that I just cannot deal with. I cannot deal with a person like that. I cannot deal with somebody who sees no fault within themselves. It's always everybody else's fault. That's the type of person that Tim is. And I'm glad that he broke up with Alex because he would have taken her through a lot. I know it. I just know it. They weren't good for each other either. He used to cut her down as well too. But I don't know. And nobody was worse than Hannah. Hannah was terrible. But those are really the only key moments that I really wanted to talk about when it came to the reunion. The whole thing with Steven and what happened, the messages or whatever, and like the explanation he gave, and when he was saying like, nobody cares about my side of things, nobody wants to hear my side, nobody cares how I feel. And this is how I feel about people who try to victimize themselves after they've done something wrong. You are a human being. Sure, I can acknowledge that. I can acknowledge that human beings make mistakes and we should give each other grace when it comes to those things. However, nobody owes you anything after you've made a mistake and you've done something to hurt somebody. You do not get to try to flip it and make it seem like you're the victim in this situation and oh my god, everybody hates me because I cheated. Everybody hates me because of this or whatever. You did something that is seen as morally wrong. Yes, people are going to feel some type of way about it. But don't try to play victim like, oh, nobody cares how I feel. Do I feel like in that moment that Tim should have been met with more empathy? No. Because in the pods, when he told Monica that he cheated, she was empathetic to him then. She told him not to be hard on himself. She told him that he needed to let that go and forgive himself for what he did and all of that stuff. She was supportive. The way that she responded, and even when Vanessa asked her if she looked back when they had that conversation when he told her he cheated, did she feel like it was a red flag that she missed? And she still said no. She said she was thankful that he admitted that he cheated before because a lot of people don't do that. And she respects him for doing that. Still didn't cut him down. She did not she did not vilify him for doing that. It's just you cheated. I don't want nothing to do with you, and that's that. It wasn't no, oh, you're a bad guy, you're a villain, but he was trying to make it seem like he was owed some empathy. No, you were not. You weren't. Like that annoyed me too. Also, I don't like the new format of the reunion. Why bring old people back and check in on them and stuff like that? It kind of takes away from the stuff that needs to be discussed on the stage. Like, why bring old people back? Another thing that I wanted to touch on too was when Marissa and Nick were going back and forth about the things that he was saying about Hannah, and she was basically telling him, just take accountability. We all do bad things. And she was like, I had sex with Ramses after, he broke my heart or whatever. And then Hannah said she had sex with Nick too after the show, after they broke up. And she whispered to either Ashley or um Marissa and said, yeah, I only had sex with him because I wanted to see if the sex was really bad. You was having sex with him while he was in the house. You was having sex with somebody who didn't even find you attractive. He did not find, he called you a grenade. You slept with him throughout the whole experience because you talked about it. How many times did you need to sleep with him for you to come to the conclusion that the sex was bad? Why did you need to sleep with him again after y'all broke up to confirm that the sex was bad when you've already slept with him multiple times? Make that make sense. And that's what I mean when I say sometimes women will do stuff like that and they'll make it seem like it's not a big deal. Oh yeah, I went back and had sex with him after he played with my heart, after he broke my heart, after whatever. And we all make stupid decisions, but that is why guys continue to do that to us. Because there are those of you who will get crushed by a man, who will get destroyed. Their heart gets destroyed, and you will still give your body to him. A man who tells me that I am too much and our energies could not coexist in a relationship could never touch my vagina. A man who weaponized his incompetence so he could get out of washing the dishes and cooking and taking out the trash. A man who talked behind my back and called me a grenade to his friends and said that I was a 5 out of 10 and say that I was not attractive to him could never touch my vagina. A man who does not respect me could never touch. A man who makes excuses for why we can't be together when I want a relationship could never touch my vagina. One who broke my heart could never touch it again. I ain't gonna say break my heart because sometimes your heart gets broken into in relationships and it's not really a big deal. It's a heartbreak. Maybe he did something or said something that hurt your feelings. I'm not talking about stuff like that. I'm talking about somebody who clearly did you wrong. They cheated on you or whatever. Could never touch my vagina. Y'all will get crushed by these men and y'all will still have sex with them. Y'all will get rejected, told that you're too much or you're not enough, and get strung along, and you will still have sex with them. Why in the world would I change? Why would I give my all to somebody who gives me access to them after I did the bare minimum, or somebody who gives me access to their body after I've broken their heart. Why would I change? Why would I be a better person? Why would I respect you when you're just going to give me what I want anyway? Y'all gotta stop doing that. Stop letting these men touch you. Stop letting these men defile you after they have humiliated you, after they've embarrassed you, after they've broken your heart, your spirit, your trust, after they've betrayed you. Stop giving them access to your bodies. It does nothing. And Marissa still seems like she's still broken over that situation because she still was crying. She's still not over it. And you want to know why? Because instead of moving on with her life after he humiliated her like that, she went and she had sex with him a few more times, which proves my point. Sex was one of the reasons why that relationship failed, because they were too sexual with each other. They used sex to resolve their issues. It was a distraction. And she went and she gave him access to her body after he told her she was too much for him. I am disappointed in her and I am disappointed in Hannah. Okay, the last thing that I want to touch on is the thing between Tyler and Ashley. Okay, hear me out. After watching the show, seeing the reunion and hearing like tidbits about what was going on in public and how, that relationship played out, and Tyler being called a liar and stuff like that. And I kind of wanted to take the outside noise out and see their relationship for what it was in front of me. And if you took all of those things out, they had a really good relationship. They communicated well. They laughed a lot with each other. They had fun. They had a strong connection. They wanted a lot of the same things in life. I never saw them disagree about anything that they wanted. They had those important conversations, the tough ones, all of the above. And they did it well. They got through their issues well, even after he dropped that bomb on her and told her that he had sperm donor babies out in the world. The way she was able to understand that maybe that was that the way that she was able to give him another chance and understand that, yeah, he made that decision, but that does not affect who he is as a person and who he is right now. That was something that happened in the past. Maybe it went wrong and like he didn't do the right things when he was involved in the situation, because I feel like he did, without going into too much detail, he did say that what the women said happened, but he said that after they got a divorce, he was present in the kid's life so he could help his friend. Do I know if that's true or not? No, I don't. I don't know. It could be deeper. Maybe he had a relationship or not. But at the end of the day, this was a decision that Tyler made with these women. They asked him for sperm, he gave it to them. What happened after that is really none of our business. What I'm really getting at is, do y'all feel like we were too hard on Tyler when it came to this situation about the babies? And the baby's mom was coming out and telling their story. And I'm not gonna lie, I did not watch full interviews, videos and stuff. I heard pieces of things, I heard clips, stuff like that. And even then, I wasn't invested in it as much. So I don't really know what happened outside of the show. Like I said earlier, I'm not a gossip vlogger or nothing like that. So what I review is strictly from the show. I don't really care about what's happening, you know, behind the scenes. Not that I don't care. It's not priority for me to put in my review. Okay? But while I was watching it, when it came to the review and everything, I was like, when Tyler was asked those questions and when he answered it, I did not get the vibe that he was lying. I got the vibe that he thought he was doing something to help somebody out, and I don't know if that lady was his friend or if they were in a relationship. Either way, it doesn't matter. He decided to donate his sperm to them for them to have babies. The relationship with her and the wife or whatever did not work out, so he stepped in to help her take care of the kids, to help his friend. And in the midst of that, things happened between them. Things transpired between them, and he said that he was honest with Ashley about everything. So she knew everything. She was not blindsided. It was, she said, she told him that they needed to share it in some capacity on the show because we would be confused about what happened between the two of them. And I'm glad she did tell him that. I wish we would have been able to see them, talk about it in full, but I understand why they didn't. They wanted to protect the kids and they wanted to protect the mom or whatever. And after hearing all of that, I do feel like we were too hard on Tyler. I do feel like this was how I felt after watching the reunion, but after I've seen a lot of reviews that Ashley did and I see the stuff Tyler has talked about and stuff like that, he definitely was lying. He was definitely lying, and I still feel like I feel like he did love Ashley, and he wanted to be with her and all that stuff, but I do feel like he was lying about what happened. I don't like when he decided to tell her. I still think that it was messed up. He kind of dragged her into a situation, but I also realized that Ashley does not care. Ashley does not care about those kids. Ashley does not care about what the truth is. All Ashley cares about is being a wife. And honestly, if that's how it is, then why should I care? Like, I don't care either. If she don't care, I don't care. I ain't stressing myself out about it or whatever. But I wanted to believe that he was being honest about what he was saying at the reunion, but after seeing some clips from like the interviews and stuff that they've done, yeah, he was lying. Like Ashley said, nobody knows him better than she does. The internet does not know him better than she does. And if she feels confident in the fact that he's telling the truth, and if she's okay with being with a man that had donated his sperm and he got kids out there that he has no plans being in their life, then that's what it is. I was happy to see that Garrett and Taylor were still together and they seem to be happy. But that is the end of my review. I might end up splitting these up because I wasn't expecting them to be as long as they were. So I might still do 3 episodes or whatever. But I am sleepy. I know y'all could tell by my eyes. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about everything that I said in my reviews. Let me know what you think about Love is Blind season 7 and all. And I will see you in the next video. Bye. Before you go, check out my website at srgraham.org and subscribe to my mailing list to get exclusive updates on works in progress, other news, and blog posts. Thank you.